All right, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker. It's my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce our District Governor, Pat Myers. Pat's a familiar face to many of our long-term members, as she was a frequent visitor to the Kent Club as a member of Hudson Rotary when she worked at Kent State University from 1990 to 2010. Pat grew up in Ohio and graduated from Kent State University with a degree in social work, and then obtained an MBA from McLaren College of Business at the University of San Francisco. She's had a distinguished career in government and educational positions, both in Florida and Ohio, and continues to serve on the alumni board of Kent State University. She's been a Rotarian since 1990 and was a founding member of the Hudson Clock Tower Club. She's held many positions on the district level for the past 6 years, including assistant governor for the North Summit cluster of clubs. She served on many nonprofit community boards, including the Hudson Community Foundation, Western Reserve Girl Scout Council, the chair of the Florida Arts Council, the Florida Philharmonic, and Florida Ballet, as well as many others. She and her partner, John Laird, president-elect of the Hudson Clock Tower Club, enjoy their children and grandchildren and serve as deacons at their church. They also enjoy volunteering in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, traveling, genealogy, and searching out sites from their family histories. Welcome, Pat.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here, and I appreciate the remarks. But before I begin my remarks, I'm particularly honored to be with you today for a special recognition entitled the Unsung Hero Award. And the award is designed for club presidents to pay tribute to a person whose special service to Rotary has placed them in a category all of their own. A person whose dedication and commitment to Rotary has been given without reservation, unselfishly, and seeking no credit or recognition, only wishing to make this a better world through their service. Many times this service is done quietly and behind the scenes, and the word no is not a part of their vocabulary. For President Smith, it wasn't an easy decision to determine who was most deserving this year of this type of recognition, though ultimately there was only one choice. And I would like President Randy Smith to tell us about his selection.
Thank you very much, Pat. This individual was at the forefront of developing our Club Runner site since its inception 3 years ago. He's kept us connected during this current situation by maintaining and updating our online resources with almost daily input. He's been instrumental in establishing our club's YouTube site and updates it weekly by posting recordings of our presentations. In other words, if not for him, we would have all been in the dark and unconnected for the last 9 months. Though far from being a millennial, he is our go-to resource for anything regarding our club's cyberspace presence. It is no exaggeration to say he has single-handedly kept this club connected and functioning through this pandemic. So without hesitation, that Roger Kramer was my pick for this club's Unsung Hero Award. Congratulations, Roger.
Okay, congratulations. Oh, good going.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you,
would
Mary.
like to read the citation from the district. I have it here in front of me, and I'll read it. It says, District Governor Citation presented to Roger Kramer. This citation is awarded with deep appreciation in honor and recognition of exemplary service to the Rotary Club of Kent and its members as the 2020-2021 Rotary Unsung Hero, dated this 10th day of November 2020, graciously given and signed by me as District Governor on behalf of District 6630 in Northeast Ohio. Congratulations, Roger.
Thank you, Pat.
I will send this to your president in hopes you can have a picture taken so that you can put it on your website and in your newsletter. Is that okay? Okay. Well, I thank you for inviting me to return to speak with the Kent Rotary Club today. It's an honor to be here this month to celebrate 100 years of the important role the members of this club have had in the history of Kent, Portage County, and all around the world. For over 100 years, you've done this through fellowship and service. I was so impressed when I read the history too, Jim, of the passion and the vision, the strength that William Walls, the superintendent of schools in 1920, when he heard about Rotary Club, he thought, we need to have this here in Kent. We have a group of people, and he tried to get sponsorship, and they said, oh, it's just a small town that probably couldn't support a Rotary Club. They didn't know about his passion and his desire to do that. So he, along with famous people in the community, William Kent, they're not, Martin L. Davey, who went on to be governor, and still has his company, the Davey Tree Company, still headquartered in Kent, and focusing on the environment now, which is a new category that Rotary internationally is focusing on. And Dr. McGilvery, the founding president of Kent State University, is still buried right in the cemetery at Kent. Can you all hear me? Okay, I saw you, I thought maybe my voice wasn't carrying. They and 23 other leaders with the same core values that Rotary has had all these 115 years of Rotary formed the Kent Club, and their passion was so contagious that a year later, they quickly became involved with the Crippled Children's Movement, developing programs for boys and joining the Scouting movement. And in 1925, just 5 years later, they formed 5 new clubs. I couldn't believe they formed 5 clubs in 1 year in Cuyahoga Falls, Ravenna, Garrettsville, Bedford, and Shelby. And I apologize if Jim has shared all of this with you recently, but I had to say it. And I feel a particularly close connection with your club's history. As a student at Kent State University in 1969 to 73, I attended your 50th anniversary at the Silver Lake Country Club. And it was hard for me to believe it was 50 years ago, but it was. And I worked my way through college by working for some of your presidents over the years. For Ron Roskins, who was the vice president of the student affairs at that time. William Taylor, who headed up the journalism school, but at that time was organizing the Ohio Arts Council. Gordon Keller, who was a brand new faculty person in the political science department. And Nancy Hanford, Bruce's wife and David's mother, who, while I was doing my social work internship, I did it as executive director of the Committee on Planning Services for the Aging at Kentway. And if you remember, your club, well, maybe you won't remember, but I remember, your club had an auction that year to support the programs at Kentway. And that support helped us during those 2 years I was there develop many programs such as Meals on Wheels, the RSVP program, nutrition programs, pre-retirement planning, health screening, and many of them are still going on. So that little support of the auction has made a difference all these years there. Jean Weninger chaired the committee that brought me back to Kent State University in 1990. And I thought I heard that Anita Harrington was on here. I worked for Anita as well when I came back to Kent. And for 20 years, I attended many of your meetings where so many of my friends extended family were members. I was so proud of Gordon Keller when he was district governor. I talked to him so many times during that time. I knew how much he respected the service and fellowship of Rotary. And I had to say, I miss his twinkling eyes, his smile, and his wisdom. He's probably the reason I accepted an invitation in 1990 to consider joining Hudson Rotary when I moved back to Ohio. Now, well, actually, I came back. The reason why I was brought back, when Jean chaired the committee there, is they asked me to be on May 4th, 20 years later, on the platform committee, along with the governor as a non-traditional student, an honors college graduate. I was not the typical student. So that brought me back. And when I came back, I really thought it was good to be home, good to be back in Kent. So I did come back to Kent. Now I have the pleasure to work with Larry Lohman and experience his passion for encouraging young people in Rotary values of service. And I know we can all be proud to. Larry is Kent Rotary's 3rd district governor next year. That Leland Keller was first, and then Gordon, and now it will be Larry. I wonder how many people's lives this outstanding club of leaders has touched and enriched in Kent, Portage County, and around the world. It's hard to imagine all the scouts. I too was impressed with the gardens, the community gardens during the Depression, and the ability to bring people together to get food, just like you're doing now. You've used your leadership skills to unite, take action, and create lasting change. And I purposely have this up here, and I don't know whether you can see it, but that's Rotary's vision this year. Together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. So thank you, Dr. Smith, for agreeing to use your leadership skills to serve as president. I have heard many times that we are where we are supposed to be here at this time, this year. In this year of challenges and unrest, we need Rotary more than ever. Rotary this is what we do. We meet these challenges. We look for needs. We look for the opportunity to be lending a hand. And you, Randy, realized, I think, even before we had to cancel the All Ohio Test training that you were scheduled to come to plan differently for your year as president, because you understood the seriousness of the virus firsthand. You looked at how to keep your club members safe, engaged, how to have a very fun fundraiser so that we could continue serving others. And you looked for ways to hold meaningful celebration this year of all of those who have served Kent Rotary for over 100 years. When we talked, you told me about the exciting and stories that Jim Myers has been sharing at club meetings. And I what a great gift. That's a great gift you're doing, Jim. It reminds us all of where we are and what we came from and what the environment was like at that time, and how things we continue to go on. You also talked about how proud you are of the way your club has adapted to change and their interest in what is happening in other clubs in the district and at Rotary International. Randy, your club is fortunate to have you at this time today, this year. This is a year of change, and like Rotary International President Holder Knack, theme, it says Rotary opens opportunities. And your club is finding opportunities to answer a call for help, to honor people on Veterans Day tomorrow, to provide needed school supplies, food, PPE, to unite, take action, and connect, even at home. We're people who love being with others, who share the same core values. And we have had these same values for 115 years. And I'm going to pick up my computer because I'm going to see if you can see them. They're at the bottom of this banner that I put up. And it says, Rotary's core values are fellowship, integrity, diversity, service, and leadership. All Rotarians for all these years have always shared these same core values. We like to serve and laugh together, share concerns, celebrate good news, care for others. Well, during this time this year, Rotary International is still working from home and has held all events, training, and meetings virtually. As a representative of Rotary International, I follow the guidance of Rotary to not, their guidance to me as their representative is to not hold any in-person Rotary events, nor to do any official visits to clubs in person until at least January 1st, 2021. And their guidance to clubs is, they cannot direct clubs in what to do, but their guidance is to follow the rules of government and the health professionals, checking with your health departments to see what the guidelines are, work with an attorney in your club, and it sounds like you've done all of that, and consider the health of each person in whatever decisions you make. So we've been waiting for any additional decisions by the Rotary International Board of Directors and Trustees as to the rest of the year. They met on October 25th and 6th, but the only thing we've heard that they've decided is to hold the International Assembly in February for the district governor-elects virtually. That's where the district governor-elects receive their theme for the year, where they're commissioned, and they finish some of their training to be representing Rotary International next year. So Larry already knows he has to do his virtually. But so far, they haven't given any more guidance. We don't know about the International Convention in Taipei. We don't know what guidance they're going to be having. It's looking slim from my view because of COVID and how rapid it's been spreading lately. But we're waiting to hear anything further. So we've all had to share in this difficult time and have had to stretch and learn new habits. So how do I see the year ahead? What is my vision, my goals? And my vision is the same as Rotary's vision that I just showed you. My goal this year is that each of our clubs and members are connected and engaged. And my objectives include sharing with each member the opportunities, resources, and support that Rotary International, the district, and other clubs can provide. As we open our eyes and minds, suddenly we see, as your president is doing, that we can still reach out to those who need a hand. To ask, how can we in our club, district, or Rotary International take this time to look at how we can restructure our committees, events, fundraisers, goals, and activities. Our youth programs still have our students involved to think and plan together. And those of us that are volunteering on district committees are asking questions, how do we meet together when we cannot be in person? Do we need to have all these meetings? We've sort of gotten past that point quite a bit because we've all been kicked into using technology. I say kicked into using technology, whether we wanted to or not. And even after there's a vaccine, should we consider still having hybrid meetings? How can we honor the donors that keep the fight up to end polio and provide annual funds so that grants can be given and are returned back to be given in our districts for needs relating to the pandemic, shelter boxes for natural disasters, youth exchange, a safe youth exchange. How can Rotary International and the district provide the support for your club and its officers more effectively? How can we all share ideas and resources? As I meet with other clubs, I am amazed, and your club too, at creative and fun things that you all are doing. In the district newsletter that you received yesterday, Dr. Rob McGregor, the president of the Akron Rotary Club and chief medical officer at the Akron Children's Hospital, shared the infection prevention risk management assessment rubric that his members are using when decisions have to be made about fundraiser or events. When they thought about, when the group said, can we have a chili open? Can they still play golf in the snow out there and then share? Well, they formed a little committee of attorneys, medical people, and insurance people. And that committee looks at the rubric with the members and decides what's the risk for people if they do that. So we shared it. He said we could share it online, and we did. We started also yesterday listing interesting speakers. And if you have some speakers that you had, like Jim Myers, send them in to our webmaster, and she'll put it up with the others as we hear of them. There's several up there you might want to look at. And you remember that Toastmasters is now a partner with Rotary. So your local Toastmasters are a great source. And there's also a great session on My Rotary that you can access that Toastmasters has that you can also have at one of your Rotary meetings. So it's always good to hear little tips on speaking. I could use that. The clubs in some of the clusters are holding joint meetings. For instance, in Lake County, Willoughby, Mentor, and Painesville have held several meetings with outstanding speakers, including the head of the Cleveland Orchestra, Playhouse Square, head of the Playhouse Square. They held all the candidates for one election forum. Instead of inviting them to all their club meetings separately, they held one all together so they could hear from all of them at once. Clubs are breaking up their Zoom meetings by fun games, such as calling on 5 different members, like Randy would call on Christine. Christine, what was your favorite Halloween costume? If you ever had, and you might not have ever had one, I don't know, but and they would share what it was. Or they would ask them, they would pick 5 more the next time, and they would give little gifts to people that answered the right question to funny questions, like a Starbucks gift card. The president would mail out a Starbucks gift card. So they thought of fun things to do instead of just speaking like I am to you, and which kind of gets old after a while. The Public Image Committee for the district is sharing new ways to use photos and videos. And I love your newsletters, and I love the YouTube that you're doing. You're doing a great job. And the District Membership Committee held a 2-day virtual Tri-District Membership Summit with all, some of you went to that, which was all from the western side of Ohio over to the eastern and down through Youngstown, and Warren, and Columbiana County, over in North Canton. And the membership committee is also developing a 3-year strategic plan with 5 strategic focus areas. It's a simple plan that has a PowerPoint if you haven't seen it. And Peter Tuttle, the membership chair, is actually going around speaking to clubs. If you're looking for a speaker someday, and if you're thinking about membership, invite him. He shares that as a template that you can adapt and use if you want to. And the results that I'm hearing back from clubs is they listen to him. He said the first time he presented it and he thought, oh shoot, nobody's saying anything. I guess it didn't go over. I guess they didn't like it. And all of a sudden they said, I like this. I think we can do this. Why don't we do this? And they said in 15 minutes, they had a membership plan for their club. So he's been encouraged. He's been doing it now several times. So think about it if you'd like to have him come. And Jim McKee, who was the membership chair the last 3 years and is now the club extension chair, is offering to assist clubs in identifying members who have left in the last 3 or 4 years for various reasons, like they may have moved, they may be working away and couldn't come to the meetings. And he's looking at a way to contact those members and tell what's happening with Rotary, what we're doing now, think about it again, think about coming back. You can join virtually. So we hope that'll be helpful to you. So we're not going to contact anyone without your president looking at the list first and saying it's okay. I mean, these are people, they're still around, The annual foundation event you already mentioned will be Thursday. It's going to be virtually. It will be 1 hour long. And we're just really blessed to have the first ever Rotary International female to be nominated as president. She's president nominee, Jennifer Jones, who will be virtually presenting the awards. And many of you have known Jennifer Jones over the years. She's part of our old Zone 2829. She was head of that for a number of years. She's very dynamic, lives in Windsor, Canada, and she will be joining virtually to present our donors. So I hope you will join in. It should be fun. We won't have any dessert dashes this year, and it certainly is going to be only an hour long. So we're not going to keep people on a long meeting. I was impressed with how quickly we Rotarians adapted to change this year. I believe that's because of who we are and what we value. Our hearts will continue to seek ways to serve. Past Rotary International president said a couple of weeks ago, our challenges are our strength. And I think that's true. And I'd like to share a little story. For all Ohio Pets last year, I was district governor-elect, as Larry is this year. And when we were getting ready, we had to cancel the performance 2 days before it was to take place because of COVID. But I was asked to provide walk-on music. As a district governor, you're given the honor of introducing different speakers. Well, I was to do the invocation for the opening speaker, Governor DeWine. And I thought about Governor DeWine. You all know I did government relations for 30-some years. And I worked with Governor DeWine. And I knew of his values. And I knew how hard he tries. And this isn't political, because he did not go by the party. He went against his own party many times. And, he did what he seeks to do what's right. And I thought, what in the world would I have with walk-on music? I don't know what music I would choose. And I looked through this music on my computer that John's granddaughter had downloaded and John had downloaded. And I looked and looked, and what would I do? And I saw a song that I didn't even know I had, and I hadn't heard it before. And it's a song from a movie. It's called Heart of a Hero by Luther Vandross. That song was never played, and I'm not sure I can tell you the words now, but I will without crying. But the memory of the words in the song came back to me when I thought about the actions of your members. So if you are a friend, you have the heart of a hero. Sometimes a hero does not know he's a hero. He is just a plain, ordinary person trying to give someone a hand together. Oh, happy day. Inside every heart, there is a hero. You are a hero. Say it, a hero. I look forward to giving someone a hand with you this year. Thank you. I'd be glad to take any questions.
Pat,
Anybody
I've
have
got,
a quick question? Go ahead, Jim.
yeah, with the COVID-19, has the membership in our district dropped?
Right now, the latest report shows that we are up 9 members. But unfortunately, I happen to know one of my very good friends who's a member of the Hudson Morning Club. I just passed away 2 weeks ago. I don't know whether you know Tom Page or not, but Tom and Dottie Page, and they live just a block away from me, both had COVID, and he died from it. So I don't know about, and that's maybe not the only reason people leave. Some people have found it hard. We have a number of people that just, they'd rather meet in person. They don't like technology. They don't want, they don't want to connect by Zoom or try to get a device to do that. Many don't even have a smartphone. So there's still quite a few people in our district like that. And they've been in clubs for years and years and years. Their clubs generally tend to be smaller, but there are some in the bigger clubs too. And so that's a struggle. Whether they'll leave or not, I'm not sure. I know that we're watching 2 clubs that have been small for a long time, and the one in particular, they're still meeting in person just by themselves, and so in a back room somewhere. They just refuse to do that. So I don't know if we're going to. I wouldn't be surprised if we did, but then I keep hearing of members joining. And I think it's important to pull together and make sure that people, if you're new, like you have 2 people who want to join your club, I'm sure that your club is exciting and fun to be with. And so they want to be part of your club. And I think that's, that's up to the leadership of each club to do that. And it's kind of a hefty job for the presidents this year. They're responsible for their meetings and for them being fun. But when you have a good structure like you have in your club, it helps a whole lot because everybody's pulling together and doing their part with their committees. So, but
Thank
does
you.
that answer your question, Jim?
Yes, yes.
Well, Pat, I'm sure you're aware, we always have a responder to our meetings. And today that is District Governor-elect Larry Lohman.
Oh.
Everyone, it's my pleasure to respond today. Pat and I have served for several years now together,
We have,
EG line, and even before that, we knew each other from district events and me attending her club's meetings when I worked. I had my offices in Hudson. Pat,
Yeah.
I'd really like to thank you for taking us, down memory lane of our days of our history, and also kind of regaling your involvement with members throughout the years of our club. It's interesting always to hear those stories. I think a lot of information came out today that will help our club move forward as we keep continuing through this COVID. I know our club has been strong through this with the meetings and everything that we've had. We've had speakers from all over, or from as far away as England. And it's been a fun year, even though we haven't been in person. We still kept together, and I know that that's been a focus of your year so far as DG, is to make sure the clubs are still connecting. I know we've even looked as far as how many clubs are meeting virtually throughout the district, and we have a list, and we have 51 clubs in our district. And currently we have about 47 of them meeting virtually, which is phenomenal. So hopefully through the efforts that, Pat and our district line have put together, we'll continue to move forward. And that's, the only thing we can do at this point is just continue to move forward. And again, Pat, thank you very much. I think, we can take a lot away from your talk today.
Oh, well, thank you. I have to say, it's not me that's doing it either as district governor. It's all of the committees and the team. And you're right, Larry, we have a great team. We're very fortunate in our district because both Larry and I, and Dave Jones now too, and John Reyes before me, we are all trained. We all work together all the way through the time we're governor to after we're governor, when you accept volunteering for that position. So it's an honor to work. I love working with Larry. I was very excited when he came in, because you're right. Our club supported your global grant. I know, and they don't support a lot of things. It's a small club, but we did, and we're proud of it too.
Well, Pat, I wanted to give you my personal thanks for your kind words, but more importantly, for your message that we keep our members safe while at the same time keeping them engaged and connected. So thank you very much for being with us today. And that'll end the meeting.
Bye-bye. It's good to see you all.
Yes.